Welcome to People's Song SocieTea, a live monthly salon where artists and community come together to share creative responses to the world around us. We saved a seat for you.
Do that again. Wow, you guys are so cool. Welcome to the inaugural Psst. I say psst, you say psst. Oh, you guys are so fun. It's going to be a great night already. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for coming to this tonight. PSST stands for the People's Song SocieTea. And I hope you have grabbed some tea for the night here at Bantha Tea. Yes. Everything here is so good and we're really grateful for it. Let me turn this music off. My God. I put on an anti-fascist folk song playlist.
Yeah.
Just to get us in the mood. But anyway, so this is a monthly curated kind of event that invites artists of all different kinds to share their feelings about the world through their creative products that they make. That could be anything. It could be music, it could be visual art, it can be poetry, it can be prose, it can be a short film or dance or whatever, as long as the person was inspired to do it because of something going on in the world. And it could even be good news. It doesn't have to always be bad news. It just happens to be that we have a lot of bad news. Which, I gotta say, it's like this is a great turnout for a first event for an idea that just kind of, it's all because of you. It's the community, and it's just so exciting. So this is our inaugural one, and it is Black History Month. So it seems like a good time to start doing something like this. My song is related to Black History Month or Black History in general, but not everything tonight is going to be. There's going to be all different kinds of things because there's so many important matters in the world going on at the same time. So if anybody ever wants to perform at a future one, talk to me and let me know, and we'll figure it out. It can be about anything that bothers you or makes you happy about what's going on in the world. Okay, so the structure of the performance, in case you don't know, is there's going to be 5 different performers tonight, and they talk a little bit about their piece and the inspiration or whatever aspect of the piece that they want to talk about first, and then they perform it. Musicians get one piece, and we also have a poet here today, and they will read a few pieces because poems are shorter. I don't know. This is all a big experiment, so we're gonna peep it. That's play it by ear. We're gonna figure it out together. This is always gonna be a free to attend event. There's a little donations bucket. Donations would thank you, Margot Darling, one of our performers, showing off. There's a donation bucket in the back too. This is, if you donate to this will go towards growing PSST, and that means like hosting for a podcast for the performances we do tonight to be heard in perpetuity. A camera that I can have that's easy to record everything all the time. Paying the artists, we hope. That would be amazing. So little things like that. Like printer ink. Like the revolution needs printer ink, so all these things kind of go together, and so no pressure to donate though. This is always free. It's for everybody. It's just if you've ever felt like it. There are these little things I made that are lyrical newsletters, I call them. If you want to have one, there's a few left that are physical. There's also a QR code on a couple signs around that you can find. It'll just take you to the website where all those words for everybody's songs and poems are listed for tonight. So you can follow along for deeper comprehension, or because you can't tell what I'm singing, which is very likely. So all these things. No hate speech, no bigotry, just be curious and interested. I hope people want to talk afterwards. You were already talking before, which is great. I think if you want to talk to the artists while they're up here, we're figuring it out together. So feel free to ask questions or talk during, but also for sure after. We can stay here till 10 if we want to, hanging out and talking at the end. So whatever works. And just be respectful. Okay, so I want to explain a little bit to you about why is happening, and then I'm going to get off the stage and invite our first performer up. The People's Song Society came to me as an idea while I was on a trip through the South with Classrooms Without Borders. Classrooms Without Borders takes educators on trips to places where important things happen. So they take educators to concentration camps in Poland, for example. And another one of their trips is marching down Freedom Road, which goes through the American South and goes to all of these places where tragedies happened, victories happened, amazing museums. We met all of these civil rights heroes that are still alive. It was very inspiring. My job, I had a weird job. I was actually interviewing the educators who were on this trip. So I was there to document their time. And this gave like a lot of a deeper meaning for me because I was learning all this stuff very rapidly, then trying to turn it into questions to ask that would be educated enough. And then I would hear all of these brilliant brains on their own having their impressions and their feelings. So I was getting like 3 layers of perspective, and it was very perspective shifting. For one thing, I cannot believe all the stuff that we never learned in school about everything that happened then. Like, it's like shocking. And we hear less and less about it as time goes on. So it's just such an important material, and this trip really changed me. But in the middle of it, I felt like, oh my God, that's so depressing. What can I even do? But by the end, I felt, what can I do? What can I do? I can do something. I can write a song, and I can get some people to come into a room, and I can get some other people to write some songs, and I can do that. That's one thing I can do. So there is. But it wouldn't even exist without our first guest for tonight, Art D. He's going to come up here. Art D. The bio he sent me. Art D is a social justice singer-songwriter channeling the spirit of 1960s protest music and today's resurgence of political voices. Also, this wouldn't exist without Art because although I've had this idea for a couple of years, it wasn't... No, that's how he got me. He was like, every time you say you're going to do it but don't do it, I'm going to play a bad chord on the piano. Dissonance will make you do it. Just kidding. No, he's nothing but supportive and to causes and to individuals, and he's a really special dude. And he's going to do a great song tonight. And he really helps me, kind of put me over the edge into like, I know this is a good idea. I want to do this idea. And then, oh, cool hat. I like that hat. Cool hat. But then, knowing that he was going to be kind of ride or die on the idea helped me feel like, I can do this because I have a co-conspirator.
I've been one of those.
A couple times, I bet. Okay, so like I said, everyone's going to talk a little bit about their piece and then do their piece. And if you want to read the words along, you can find those. Yeah. Thanks.
I'm going to plug it in. Okay.
Oh, wait.
I'm waiting.
Okay. Now.
Okay. Hi, I'm Art D. And it's great. Let me just move this over here. It's great to be here. Let me tell you a little bit about this piece. It's called America and Palestine Will Be Free. So the larger context is once upon a time, I was an active community and congregational rabbi who, as I look back in growing up in the 60s, I can remember in elementary school when, because I wasn't Catholic in a very Catholic town, it was not easy being Jewish. 1967 came, the 6 Days War, and all of a sudden I was a hero. And my life changed in elementary school because all the kids, majority, the guys who would beat me up on an occasion said, oh, wow, Israel's so tough, they beat all those, whatever. So I look back at that moment and what that moment changed for me moving forward, and somehow finding my way into rabbinical school, living in Israel, and drinking a lot of Kool-Aid. And not realizing the real Zionist narrative, which is we're seeing today, which is a genocide in Gaza and continual murder of innocent Palestinians in occupied territory in the West Bank. 2010 was my last trip overseas to the Middle East. I went by myself to East Jerusalem, to Palestine, stayed with Palestinians' families, involved myself in some Palestinian dialogue, learned and saw with my own eyes some pretty horrific situations. Stayed with a family whose grown 3 adult boys live in Sweden, or moved to Sweden, because 1, they feared for their life being young men in Palestine, and 2, the family was not allowed to build any more stories to their home. They were cut off at a couple levels, and so there was no place for them to live. Sweden offered them asylum and a stipend to get started. So they moved. And that was really, among, the hundreds of stories and encounters I had during that time. So came back to Pittsburgh, all excited, but how foolishly excited I was, because I thought, my goodness, I could share with people what I saw on the ground. Well, folks in the Jewish community did not want to hear it, and about 2.5 years later, I retired a year early from my job as a rabbi in the North Hills of Pittsburgh, took some time off, and went back to school in social work and public health, and did that. This particular song that I'm going to share combines 2 issues going on right now. What we see with ICE and what we continue to see with Israeli Defense Forces on a regular basis. Since the so-called ceasefire, at least another 500 innocent Palestinians in Gaza have been murdered since the ceasefire. So much for the ceasefire. And we know about the Board of Peace, of what that really is about, and all those kinds of things happening. And then, this past summer was building in me, seeing what was going on in Gaza, the slaughter, and I wrote a song that was performed, and Liz was on the show that night at the Original Winery back in, I guess, October, November. It was called Songs for Gaza, Mark Dingham and Lauren DeMiche, and it was inspired by Susan and her folks, who did a fundraiser there for the immigrants. Was it 19 or 17 immigrant groups in Western Pennsylvania, and I was there that night, and I was stewing and saying, wow, it has to be something more than just for the immigrants. So we had some conversations, and the next thing I know, we were organizing that. So thank you, Susan, for that inspiration to do that. So that's really the background to the song. In terms of my creative process, I write words first. Having been a rabbi and a speaker for years and years and years, words come first, and sometimes the music comes with it, sometimes it struggles, sometimes I say, can I do more than 4 chords in the truth? What can I come up with? And for this song in particular, I wanted something with more of a rhythmic beat instead of just either strumming or finger picking. I wanted to do something, and one of my friends, David Dickinson, is someone who I admire the way he plays guitar, and so I said, I'm going to try that approach. So let's see what this America and Palestine will be free. Separate us, but don't you miss these connections? They believe they're chosen ones. Were lands ablaze, overrun by guns. Lessons of history be damned. Power, wealth, delusion, and greed. The leaders of both play a cruel, evil game. Lives taken invoking a divine name. The cities of America are teeming with ice. The villages of Palestine under IDF boots. Filled with hate and rage, they're one and the same. They just carry different names. America and Palestine will be free. From the rivers, hills, mountains to the sea. You can join me if you want. America and Palestine will be free. From the rivers, hills, mountains to the sea. The long arm of justice is inevitable, but it can be a treacherous path. Tireless efforts and lives will be lost, 'cause freedom pays an awful cost. When skies look dark and clouds abound, and danger nears and fear rises high, a people's will for justice will not be denied. 'Cause we must stop the genocide. Cities of America are teeming with ice. The villages of Palestine under IDF boots. Filled with hate and rage, they're one and the same. And they just carry different names. Everyone. American Palestine will be free. From the rivers, hills, mountains to the sea. America and Palestine will be free. From the rivers, hills, mountains to the sea. Yeah. American Palestine will be free. From the rivers, hills, mountains to the sea. Thank you so much. Ready? I just want to add one thing. A friend of ours who's active in anti-fascist causes, we had a dialogue talking about the connection between ICE and the IDF. In fact, the Israeli Defense Forces trains the border folks, and when I left Palestine, Israel in 2010 and escorted to the airport and stopped and kept in detention because they followed me around, I learned real quickly of their surveillance techniques, very similar to what ICE does here. Actually on steroids because of Palantir and some of the other organizations. But thank you.
Thank you all.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Art. I do love that song. Now I know the backing vocals forever. Okay, so up next we're going to have Margot Darling. Margot Darling. Well, she's a good friend of mine, but also she's a vocalist, writer, and performer who aims to amaze. Her distinctly Geminian voice, love that. Sometimes decadent, sometimes daring, sometimes delicate, guides her creative work. And she's also in Buffalo Rose, and she also has her own project going, which is Margot Darling. And she's a fabulous singer and songwriter. And I think doing something similar and topic-wise to art. So this is very fun. So come on up. I'm here. Let's plug this thing in. Here's your thing.
Okay. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Oh. Thanks. No, thank you. It's really good to see everybody. My name's Margot. Oh, wow. God, it never gets old. It might get old by the end of this night, but I actually doubt it. I'm good for this? Yeah. All right, beautiful. So yeah, as Erika said, I'm a performer who also is in a couple other bands in Pittsburgh, some of which play mostly in Pittsburgh, some of which tour a lot. And in my main project, which is Buffalo Rose, shout out, thank you. I'm one of 3 singers and songwriters in that band. And so there's a lot of material, and not all of it can come to life, because we only have so much time and so much brain power and manpower. And also in Buffalo Rose, we've kind of made this choice to be like, we're going to write songs that are fun and songs that are like uplifting and like high energy, and not all of the things that I write right now about the state of the world are fitting in that vibe. So this kind of thing is amazing. Thank you, Erika, for instigating. Because I think that I'm just so glad to have a place to share some songs that are a little bit different than I would get to make in some of the other artistic avenues that fill my life right now. So this song is one that I've been working on with my friend Shane, who is also in Buffalo Rose. And I wrote it, but he helped put together some really nice guitar. And he's not here tonight, so I'm going to do a bad version of his beautiful guitar. Yeah, I'll do a just fine version of his beautiful guitar. And this song is called Olive and Myrtle, and it is also about the Palestinian genocide. And I was trying to think if I really wanted to prepare what I was going to say about this song before I got here. And every time I tried to conjure that to my mind and just really make something clear and succinct, it was kind of impossible, because it's just this topic that is, when I think about it, it is very all-encompassing and overwhelming, which is, I feel overwhelmed by a lot of this stuff that's happening in our world right now. And music is a really good way for me to get it out. And yeah, the song is about imagining a beautiful future for Palestine and the people of Palestine, and imagining peace and ease in their lives in the future, in generations to come. And I just really, I don't have any answers, but I hope that we can get there. That's probably my cue to start.
Speaker does its own thing.
Thank you, speaker. Let's see.
What's your creative process like, if I may ask?
Yeah, of course. So my creative process, typically the words and I'm a singer first. Typically the words and melody come together for me. Sometimes it'll be one or the other, but they're usually intertwined. And that makes it kind of easier and kind of harder because like what it's supposed to be is already very like clear. So I have to get it how it's wanting to be. And that it kind of makes itself very, very obvious right from the get-go. But also, because I'm in these other bands that have a lot of other like instrumentalists, I don't often have to come up with the instrumental components of the songs. So this has been a really like interesting and eye-opening experience to be like, okay, what would this sound like with just me and not an upright bass and a mandolin and a dobro and 3 vocals and whatever. So yeah, this has been a really, really cool kind of different thing for me to do, and I've been enjoying it a lot. But yeah, usually words and melody together, and I just write it as it comes. I don't know how long this one took. I think I got like the first verse and the chorus. Usually this is how it goes. I'll get a first verse and a chorus, and then a second verse or whatever else will come along a month or 2 after, as it's been sitting and stewing. Any other questions? Cool, great. I'm gonna go ahead.
Nothing in the sky, a holy place, a family farm. Been here since by and by, and the land is soft and fertile for the olive and the myrtle. The water runs in easy streams. It's clean and good to drink. You're living out your mother's dreams. The fields no longer stink of bodies burning and of gasoline. You've heard the stories of the missiles, but you've never seen them fall. It's a new age after all. Your sister holds a piece of fruit, sliced melon in her hands, her dark eyes like mulberry juice. The spot in which she stands has no preordination, no malevolence of occupation. Oh, we didn't think it could be done, so distant and so dim, but hope is like the rising sun. Comes again, the world can change so long as people call for a future made of open arms, of bridges, not of walls. It's a new age after all. After all, after all,
Thank you very much. Thanks, Erika. Thanks. Thank you, guys. Thanks for everyone for being here. I'm going to get out of here now. Oh, a beautiful chorus of snakes.
Those sound snaky. Snakes mean transformation, though, okay? Many of you in this room know I had a swimming snake get on my paddleboard a couple years ago. Not everybody, but many of you do. And you know what happened that year? All kinds of transformation. That's what snakes mean. Okay, so next we're going to have a poet up here. I think what is such a cool thing about this event is it makes an opportunity for all different kinds of art to be here. So I hope we're doing it last Thursday of every month. All year I booked Bantha. So I'm hoping that we get lots of different kinds of people, not just musicians. But if it's musicians, that's great too. But I'm so glad that this person who's coming up next agreed to come be. This is Tommy Wyatt Blake. He is the author of several books, including Necropia and For Your Entertainment, and is synthesizing digital archives, confines of the body, and manipulated time. And Tommy's going to be reading a set of poems. And yeah, please come on up. Thanks for coming and being a part of.
Thanks for having me here. Thank you. No, I'm much shorter. Hi, I'm happy to be here. I'll be reading 4 poems. The first one is titled The Self-Appointed Leftist, which is in response to the predatory and exploitive nature of ill-natured people who claim to be leftists. Thank you. They take you to protests and post pictures of you on Twitter, claiming it is a civil service when all it serves is surveillance. They waste your disability pay for personal gain. They say it's communism. They hate you for not asking to compare pain. They think the world owes them. They play video games. All they do is play video games. They don't ask if you need anything. The concept of your trauma hurts them, and for that, they'd like to cut out your tongue, their words always worming in your brain. They break you into multiple, blocked by emotional inertia. It buys them silence. If you speak of memory, they have ways of stopping you. They make you stay upstairs during a welfare check, even when you're summoned. They take the number given to you for a shelter. They say you're in their platonic polycule, but you did not consent to it. They say this will save you. They steal your things after you process through legal channels to remove yourself from the lease. They watch you online, feigning your voice, your wounds, hours after you posted about surviving their abuse. They were trying to have a peaceful day. When you returned to retrieve the rest of your life, they shoved in trash bags. And if you think they have nothing left to take, all they need say, where is your evidence? Thank you. The next one's titled Signs About Faith Keep Populating Around Town, which exposes right-wing extremism, mentions the death of Charlie Kirk, and compares transness to an angelic nature. I refreshed my timeline to a video generated by AI. A fascist lifted up to heaven by Jesus, the one with a white face, all starry glow and flashes of clouds, the American flag projected on the fabric of space. Tweets silver fishing, last words as a motive for his death, the local time 12:23 p.m. Total mask off moment for those bound by belief that their enemy is the unknown, those ghouls who weaponize the same fear faced by the end of a barrel. Civil War silver-tipped on their tongues as they pray. I scroll through ads of his freedom shirt, shots at every angle, reality pounded out the mouth of those who can't hear the call from coming inside the house. I wish for a future that doesn't abandon gender for Old Testament rage. I plug my phone in, blasting trans anthems, and I'll take the first exit to Ohio, The littering of churches pass by, all fractured and condemned with white stained panels peeling off, where the spirits are loud and light, in harmony with the voice on the radio. Thank you. I have just two more. The next one's titled Archives du Mal, which is about AI in a negative manner, particularly generative AI models such as Sora AI. I wish my computer blue screen to stop me from consuming the news. Sora AI wielding reality distortion too well with how it's hard to tell it was generated, except for its pockets of static friction. I don't consider the consequences of reducing myself to eyes online, watching the ruins of anything human, how it's outsourcing spirit and body with fine-tuned pixels, a crash of code, profile graveyards, stolen archives. I wake up half dead most days now, phone in hand, the glow projecting onto me. I want to throw it out the window on a busy road, reading posts that gummify my brain and make me wish every day is a bad dream. I trick myself to sleep until I'm scorched blank, until I want the hours emptied, until the next sleep where it's all glitter-bodied, viscous red beating. I could hurt myself to find it, but it won't feel like anything to me. Thank you. And the last one I have is a short one. It's titled Crypto Hazard, and it's about the predatory nature of cryptocurrency and the culture surrounding it. They say it's an even exchange. They'll remove everything but the checkout page until its abandonment rate is a gaping string of zeros. The internet a turnstile, trafficking in crypto and the bodies paying for it. They like automation artificial, trading our data to AI as we break in unison from person to processing unit. All feeds a bloated grave for the collective grief or a littering of posts that rage on without a voice to scream. Thank you.
That was great, Tommy. Thanks for bringing those perspectives to our night tonight. Next, we're going to have Christian Hoffman and Ben Kernian, so you guys can come up here and start setting your situation up. I call it a situation because it is an instrumental thing with spoken word over it, so it's going to be interesting and cool. There's pedal boards and all kinds of, look at all these pedals. Now, he must play the guitar to have all those pedals. Since we're going to be sitting up for a little minute, if anybody wants to, if people are standing and they want seats, there's plenty of seats. You're not going to interrupt to come on in. And also, we have, anybody who just got here, I have words printed in a little newsletter. If anybody wants to follow along, I can take these. They're up here. In an inconvenient location. Anybody would want any of these. I'm just gonna put in words. Words, you want words? We'll take some words here. Take some words. It's all the words. It's every word. It's every word from every song and every poem you hear tonight. So there's just a couple more copies if anybody wants. Words. The rest of the words here. Words. It's like sheep words. Words. Sheep words. Words. What are we doing? I don't know. But I can introduce them as long as we're here. So Christian, by the way, Christian is a person who hopped right on the idea as soon as he heard that this was happening. He wrote and said, I want to do it. So is the case for everybody who played tonight. It's like really awesome to have people who want to play at this right away on the first one, because who knows what's going to happen. But also thank you again, everyone here, for being here at the inaugural. Psst. Christian Hoffman, psst. I say psst, you say psst. That's a nice moment. So Christian Hoffman and Ben Kernion are Pittsburgh-born musicians and longtime collaborators whose work spans projects including Paging Dr. Moon, Sweet Earth, and Sonic Acrylic. And it's going to get spacey, I think. And Ben's somewhere, and I assume he'll show up and take over the microphone at any minute. Dramatically, it seems. Okay, we're just gonna, I think it's a dramatic entrance, so I'm gonna quietly slip away.
Oh man, I hate speaking in front of people. Ben's on his way in. So, I know, how do I put this? So I'm doing the music because I never feel that great with words. But I guess right now, it's really easy to give in to apathy and to give in to feeling helpless and hopeless. And I don't know, if any of you are paying attention for the last, I don't know how many years this has been going on, you feel like a lot of people are kind of sleepwalking through it. And you kind of want to scream sometimes because you don't understand how people don't see it. But, you know, people talk about the answer to everything that's going on, and there are numerous things. It was really, really nice to see the opening of this night be about Palestine and America, and the fact that the two are so closely interconnected. Because I think that, like, it doesn't even take much to figure it out, but there is such an interconnectedness to all of it, and we can totally see past that very easily, because there's a lot of people who would want you to believe otherwise, and it serves their interest for you to believe otherwise. The surveillance that we're seeing is nuts. It's kind of unfathomable, because if any of us read like science fiction novels, like it was required reading when I was in high school to read Ray Bradbury, to read George Orwell. And I'm pretty, for lack of a better term, fucking scared that that's not going to be required reading anymore for people. And when you don't look at that kind of source material, it's hard for you to imagine the flip side of the coin. While, you know, it's really easy to use ChatGPT nowadays to figure out stuff that you could open a book to do. But we kind of sacrifice that curiosity for expedited thinking that isn't even our own. And I guess to even just circle back around, like the fact that the IDF trains ICE is pretty staggering, and again, something that you don't really understand why it's not making everybody else crazy. Because, you know, we're vilifying people who are anything but, when they're actually people who need our help the most. And I guess I'm really happy to be here because I don't have an answer. it feels like I'm constantly trying to come up with one every day that's going to make me feel better, but that's also a privilege that I don't have, to be able to have an easy answer to everything that's happening. So I'm really happy that we're here together making art, because I don't know, ever since I was a kid, like I felt like it was so much better to be involved in something that was artistic, because I wasn't able to articulate things the way that I wish that I could. Yeah, so I'm gonna play a little bit of music because that's what I know how to do. And you know, I could talk about this stuff with you guys all night, because it's just really comforting to be in a space with people who appreciate how severe things are, and to make me not feel as crazy. And like I said, it's just easy to get swallowed up in that. And it makes you wonder, why am I doing what I'm doing on a daily basis? But you have to keep doing what you're doing on a daily basis, or that means that you give in. It means that you give up. It means that you stop trying. And that's just simply not an option right now. Like, we have to just keep doing anything we possibly can to just maintain our sanity, to help somebody else, to make somebody else feel not as alone, to make each other feel safe. Because all of us feel overwhelmed right now. And so I thank Erika for having us. My compatriot will be in. He's a little bit held up right now with something, but he'll be in shortly. And I'd like to just play some music to start out.
Hi, I'm Taryn. I'm Christian's girlfriend.
And one of my besties.
I've never, this isn't me. I do stage crew. I'm behind the scenes, but I'm going to read Ben's poem, and we're going to see how that goes. So, But, that's what this is about, It's about community. It's about being together. If we don't, do it. Put her, whatever. So, I don't know. And appropriately, I don't know. This is called Use Fear, music by Christian Hoffman, spoken word written by Ben Kiernan, said, hopefully, by me, and Taryn Brown. Use fear to bring you closer to the joy of a hard resistor, charged with the conscious service of your holy attention. Ice melts. Use fear to clap up high and celebrate. What a time we have to move here. Seesaw nature grows through the ages and tears in the cycles of heat. Ice melts. Your tears are healthy because they show that you're in awe and in love, that we have eyes at all to look at each other. Kindly brings us closer to the fiery warmth that liquefies. Use love to use fear and rip off the death masks. Use love to use fear to inspire the upward slide. Use love to use fear. Heat a street of neighbors, joined hands in flow, filled labor. Node-based chambers, snow bombs bursting and quenching the thirsty. We can be lovers of condition and in active admission, walk together with sacred vision. If we speak what we believe honestly, angels listen and fill us in. We must talk and internalize the eternal words and images in each other's minds. If we want to survive, must metabolize our deepest, darkest, hardest, least cited secrets, saving nothing for the abyss of the ambiguous. Take the hand of truth to always to climb, making use of each divine state to rise. We use fear to ascend the lies, and in time collaborate towards a society of meaning-filled lives where every person has the ability to move towards the promise they were born to reply to. I can, I am, I see, it's me. Out there somewhere, and I'll care more and more. We all were made one time for this. Time is ours to use love, to use fear, and reveal all true faces. What a way to make a way. I feel you. Ice melts.
I love that so much that the spirit of moved Taryn to get up here and do that part, which is very unlike her to do. How beautiful was that? So beautiful. So I'm going to do a song now. We're nearing the end of our program. Let's get myself situated here.
There's a little gray pick over on that table.
Oh. Margot Darling and I share the same pick preference. How about that? Okay, I should have totally tuned this guitar before I got up here, but I'm just going to try to talk and tune at the same time here. Hold on. Let me see what I'm doing here. Okay, so I invented this idea for this event, and then I was like, oh no, now I have to write a song for it. You know, I got to do, it's good for the goose and the gander and all that. And so I decided to write a song about the events that inspired me to create this event, which, if you were here for the intro, you heard me talking about this trip I took through the South with Classrooms Without Borders. One of the places that I went was Selma, which is a place that is very famous for voting rights equality. There was a march, a very famous march from Selma to Montgomery that took place that was critical to getting the National Voting Rights Act through. They actually had to do it 3 times. The first time when they tried to make this 54-mile walk, they got across the bridge at the beginning, which is not even maybe a quarter mile. It's like so short. It's like 54 miles. It's like this much. And they didn't make it across, actually, because there were a bunch of troopers on horses who came through and beat everybody up, and it was horrible. And it's an event called Bloody Sunday. So Martin Luther King said, I'm not giving up. We're going to do it again. He made an announcement about the date. A judge actually said, no, you shall not do that. So all these people had come to town, also like white clergymen from the north. All these people came. So now that we have like a couple thousand people, and they go to march, and they go to the end of the bridge, and all those horsey guys are there again, and they go like this. It's like as if to open a path. I said, no way. I'm not falling for that trick. But also the whole idea the whole time was, we're peacefully doing this. We're going to comply with this judge, but we're not going to cancel what we're doing exactly. We're just going to get there, turn around, and go back. So they did that. And then I'm going to sort of make the story shorter, because all these horrible things happened after that. A lot of different people got murdered by Klansmen, black people and white people, all different kinds of people. And but ultimately, they kept their plan and worked with President Johnson. President Johnson decided that he liked this and sanctioned the whole walk, and actually put policemen the whole way to make it safer. And so thousands of people marched the 54 miles across 3 to 5 days, got to Montgomery, and it was a critical moment in the getting of the national voting right through. So when I went to Selma on this trip, I thought it was going to be like a, national landmark town. Like the whole thing should be this special place. But actually it was quite dilapidated. Like a tornado had come through a couple of years before and ripped through all these homes, and FEMA never came, and like trees are growing inside the houses. And by the way, it was women who had the idea for this march. The women of Selma said this would be a great idea. We should do it here. We just got to get Martin Luther King Jr. to come do it, because no one's going to pay attention to us. So they got him there. They agreed. So some of these houses that were torn through were literally places where they sat at kitchen tables all together planning these marches. So the whole town's a national landmark. These homes are national landmarks. They're just being neglected. There's a National Voting Rights Museum there. It is our National Voting Rights Museum. The window was broken on the front and just had a plywood board on it. And there wasn't money to fix it. And then the merchandise in the shop, gift shop, barely anything there. No money to make new gifts to get people to buy things so they could buy a new window. So our Voting National Rights Museum, for one of our most important rights, is just being neglected. And it's at the foot of this bridge that is named the Edmund Pettus Bridge, which is the bridge from the marches. Edmund Pettus is a Confederate officer and Klansman, and they won't rename the bridge. And every time there's a petition to rename the bridge to say a civil rights hero's name, like John Lewis, somehow it just doesn't happen. They say things like, oh, that would be erasing history, which is just like disgusting. Like, honestly, really grosses me out. But it's like amazing though. This town's full of people who were literally people who marched. So like we're in the shop getting lunch and we're talking about it, and people are like, oh, I marched on that day too, you know? And so you just meet these people. They're living there, you know? They're really not even, some of them are not even that old because they were young at the time. We met a woman named Joanne Bland, who was the youngest marcher. She started her activism very young. She actually was put in jail when she was 8 years old. That was the first time she was put into jail for protesting. Can you imagine? She and her friends, so it was sort of a strategy, because the idea is like, oh, they're killing adult black people, they're killing adult white people, maybe they won't kill kids. But they put them in jail. They put them in jail so much, these little girls and little boys would go out to do these things. They got to put in jail so much that they packed their own lunches because they would not get fed when they would be in jail. So they would go like they're going to work, packing lunch with them, which I think is like startling and sort of a robbed childhood, you know. Like they shouldn't have had to be doing that at the age of 8, 9, 10, you know. Well, anyway, Joanne is a lifelong activist. So we got to meet her and talk to her, and that was amazing. And I have a quote from her that I want to read before I play the song. But one of the other things in this town that is startling is this graveyard that's in the middle of all of this. That is, a piece of it is taken very well care of. It is a Confederate graveyard inside of this place, and it is taken care of by the Confederate Sisters of America. And every stone is polished, and there's rebel flags dotting the lawn. And they made a 900-pound monument with a bust on top of the person who founded the KKK. And they put it in this town, right in the middle of all this. So this town is very neglected. It's a national landmark, and this is where they're putting this. I think that's quite symbolic and meaningful and disgusting. And being around it, like visiting that space, was really hurtful, and it gave me this very profound feeling that was hard to process, and I tried to turn that into this song, and it hurt a lot to write, but it's so important. It really made me realize that there are people who don't want to go back just a little. They want to go back all the way to slavery. They really think for some reason that they are superior. I mean, I'm a neuroscientist, and I've looked at like thousands of brains of all different kinds. There's just no difference, okay? Like, we're all on the same level, and I find it just hard to understand. But anyway, I don't need to understand, but I do need to know that they're there. There they are. The people who are in the town who marched are there. The people who were on a horse beating those people, they're still around. These people are still around. Okay, so a lot of those things are going to be things you hear about in the song. So that's why I kind of tell that whole story, because it's a little history lesson, but also trying to show like how I tried to turn that into music for me. And just like I said, I wanted to read you this quote by Joanne Bland. She's that little girl who is now in her late 60s. She says this when she meets with groups. Movements for social change are like jigsaw puzzles. Everyone is a unique and special piece. If your piece is missing, is the picture complete? No, because you are the most important piece. So what she's trying to say by that is we all have a voice. We all have a thing that's unique to us that we can say or do. It can be in art. It can be in words. It could be just in music that you're playing because it moves you. But only you're the only one who's going to have the thing that you have to say and feel about the things around you. And every time we sing a song or do something creative or say what we think, we are in an act of our own protest upon that. Even if it's a happy, joyful thing, it's still your personal protest with the world. So I thank Joanne Bland for those thoughts, and also that's sort of part of the inspiration for too. And I have to say this too, on that trip I learned that the way things changed was because of everyday citizens being consistent and persistent. They made the leaders follow them, because our leaders are not the ones leading the way to the future, especially now. So things like this are important because we have community, we're together, and even small little things like us all being in this room tonight means something. It means we're moving a little bit of the needle, a little bit. Okay, I'm going to sing my song now. It's called Remember Selma. Remember Selma, where thousands marched to vote. 60 years later, what do I see? A voting rights museum boarded up with an open sign at the foot of a bridge, still bearing a Klansman's name. Homes torn by tornado, left so long saplings grow inside. But then a graveyard loading races with no shame. A gleaming bust of the first grand wizard, like a middle finger to this town, like a shine against all freedom. Remember Selma, remember the feet on the bridge, but forget the name they gave it. It was women who had the idea for the march. It's also women who now take care of that ugly bust. Amelia Boynton Robinson, she invited MLK. She changed the world while the others had beside their hoods. Amelia taught me strategy and hope. The others only that harm is close. Yet the sapling still finds a way to grow. Remember Selma, the women of progress, but forget the ones who rewind. But don't forget they are here. Children were part of this fight. You hope supremacists draw a line, but Joanne Bland was arrested and jailed before she was even 9. By 11, arrested 13 times, packing peanut butter sandwiches since they go unfed. At 11, she marched on Bloody Sunday, splattered by those who bled. The cost, the brutality, the childhood unspent. The marchers of Selma are not ghosts. They're
getting lunch around town. These heroes are still around us, these heroes are still around us, but so are the ones who beat them down. Remember Selma, a witness, a history. Remember it's people who rewrite the slate. Forget any safety, this is behind us. When neglect is used as maintenance of hate, they're still here, they're still here, they're still here, they're all still here. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. Okay, really, thank you everybody for coming. We're going to just do one little thing. I'm going to invite Susan Spangler up here to close the night off with us. While she's coming up here, I really want to thank all the performers tonight. Please find them on our Instagram and follow them and all the things that they're doing. That's Art D, Margot Darling, Tommy Wyatt Blake, Christian Hoffman, and I'm Erika June. We're going to do this every month, last Thursday of every single month, with different people every time. And next time we already have 4 performers lined up, which is great, and there's room for a couple more. Julianne Wright, she has an amazing song that she's going to play. Morgan Arena is going to come play. Liz McBride, who's sneakily here right now, she'll be back here to do music. Those are all musicians. Autumn McFarlane's going to do some poetry, and I'm looking for 1 or 2 more. And if I don't get one, I'm going to write another song, about something else. But I have a feeling that there's going to be some more people coming up because people seem to be really interested in coming and playing, and I have some people in April and everything. So anybody here feels inspired, please get in touch with me. It's not an open mic, it's curated, but not too strongly curated. It's just that I like to print all the things out so everybody has the words. Again, you can find us on Instagram and Facebook, psst.pgh. And there's a website, peoplesongsociety.com. And when we're done, please feel free to stay and chat and whatever. Yeah. Okay. Now, Susan, wait, I want to say something about Susan, too. It's a small thing. Susan Spangler, well, Art mentioned her before, actually, and I'm going to say something similar. Susan Spangler is a Pittsburgh-based community activist and nonprofit leader who organized the All Together Now Music Festival in 2025 for immigrant support. And if you want to sing along, it's sort of a sing-along, and the words are on the last page of your thing. It's very, very easy words. There's barely any words. But this is a song that was being sung in Minneapolis protests.
More words here. Anybody needs them?
Yeah, words. So Susan, please take over.
On Tuesday, the Ukrainian community gathered on Forbes Avenue with Ukrainian flags and also posters with photographs of children with the name my name is, and I was killed by the Russians on, child after child after child. After standing on the street in Forbes Avenue, the collection of people progressed into Heinz Chapel, where young people in their 20s spoke extemporaneously and powerfully, calling us to be a jury, to bear witness, and to not forget what's continuing to happen in Ukraine. Then they guided us around the chapel where there were different stations. There was a station where there were images of people who are in prison who don't have their medicine. And there was a way to write them letters that would be translated into Ukrainian and sent to them. Then there was a station with unissued diplomas of young people who had aspirations that they didn't get to fulfill. And then there were images of Mariupol and Kyiv and cities, bombed out cities. And then after we progressed around the chapel, there was a service. My husband and I didn't get to the place to sit down, so we were leaning against one of the pillars, and an 8-year-old little girl, as the service was beginning, slipped out of the pew where she was sitting with her father. And she came close to where we were standing, and she went up close to each of the photographs. And then she went to the next set of photographs that were right by where we were standing, looking at each of them. And her father came because he was afraid she would be disrupting the service. He wanted to be respectful of what was happening. So he took her hand as if to take her back to the pew. And she said, "No, Daddy, you have to look. We have to look. We have to look. We have to look. All over the world, we have to look. We're being called to bear witness." This song is a prayer. As Erika said, it's being sung in Minneapolis. It's being sung all over the country. It's a song, a prayer for everyone in the world. And tonight, for me, it's a prayer to the little girl. So it says, hold on, hold on, my dear one, here comes the dawn. Hold on, hold on, my dear one, here comes the dawn. Hold on, hold on, my dear one, here comes the dawn. It's so good what you're doing. It's so, so good what you're doing. And may the dawn come.
Thank you, Susan, so much. Thank you, everyone, for coming to the inaugural. The next one is also the 26th of March. So come back and bring a friend. And if you're an artist, you want to do something, let me know. Yeah. So please, thank you so much. I love you guys. You guys are amazing. Let's keep fighting the revolution. Thank you for listening to Psst. Follow us on Instagram at psst.pgh or visit our website at peoplessongsociety.com. That's society with a T-E-A. Learn more or support the project. Tune in each month for new episodes. We're here because of community. Thank you for being with us.